3 skills of a coach in different sports. Skill 1, communication. Communication is a key skill for coaches. There are many different ways of coaches communicating with players. These are split into 2 categories of verbal and non-verbal. For a coach to have good verbal communication, they need to be vocally clear and, depending on the location, loud as well. This is because, for example, if you're playing badminton, you won't have to be as loud, as you will be inside and only over a couple of courts. Also, the sport isn't very noisy, so there isn't much to raise your voice over. However, if a basketball coach isn't very loud, as they're in a hall and the bouncing of the balls adds a lot of noise along with the players talking, the coach won't be heard, so it's vital to have a loud voice. Also, take rugby teams. They train out on fields and the pitches are quite big, so if a coach needs to gain the attention of everyone, they're going to have to be louder than usual, as sound doesn't carry very well outside. To help with this, there are also non-verbal ways of communicating to gain attention of players or athletes. Using a whistle, for example. A whistle is a universal tool in sport which is very loud and requires minimal effort to use, and generally means stop or start in a game. This is helpful for coaches, as it means they are able to get their group of performers quiet or gain their attention easily to explain coaching points or move the session forwards. A coach can also communicate using signals or gestures. For example, if a basketball player scored a 3-point shot, their coach might give them a thumbs up or a pat on the back. This shows positive communication with gestures. However, gestures can show negative ways of communicating. This could be giving a frown or a disappointed look when something goes wrong. For example, if a badminton player fails to return an easy shot or serve, their coach might be disappointed and show a disappointed look on their face, as they know they should be returning those shots but instead conceded a point. Coaches can also give feedback in-game, called concurrent feedback. This can help a coach and a team as if they are in a game, whether competitive or just training. It can provide an instant change to how the game's going. However, as the players are playing, they might not give their full attention to what their coach is saying. Say a football coach is shouting instructions from the technical area for a defensive setup on a free kick. The players might be too wrapped up in the game to realise what the coach is telling them to do. There is also terminal feedback, which is feedback given to the performer at the end of the event or game. This type of feedback is the complete opposite of concurrent, as you will have the full attention of the athletes, as they will be told what they can improve or do better. But whatever they are told as the event or game has ended cannot change the result. Say a netball coach is telling their team to use a more direct approach to attacking rather than always going wide to the players. They will take this on board and take it into training and their next fixture, but however cannot apply it to the game they just played, which they could have won if they applied this to their game. Skill 2, organisation. Being organised as a coach is a key to their success and the participants' success in the session. This is because if a coach is organised, they will be able to run a session smoothly and the athletes will perform the drill to the best of their ability. An organised tennis coach, for example, will have their sessions planned out in their head or written down. They will also have an idea of how many participants they will have and will get the necessary equipment to cater for the numbers. They also need to have an alternative to where they are going to train, for if something happens, for example weather-wise, like in tennis, a clay court might be slippery in the rain, they will try to go inside so they can get the most out of every session. They also will have a register for all the participants and will add new ones that join along with the necessary emergency and medical information on the athletes that they're coaching. The coach also needs to perform a risk assessment of the training session. If they're using, for example, if they're going to be practicing driven shots, they need to make sure others aren't in the way as the ball could hurt someone. A coach should also have their participants controlled and organised. This is because, say in a football session, as soon as the players arrive, they're going to want to get a ball and have a kick about. This could ruin or mess up what the coach has to warm up or start off with. An organised coach will tell the team what to do as soon as they enter the session. For example, they say, everyone come here and sit down to stop the players from messing around, or they'll have an active start. For example, they'll say everybody practice shooting, which allows for the players to get their initial wanting to just kick a ball around out the way before the actual session starts. During the session, the coach will also have to move things around and set up new drills to progress the lesson. This could be time consuming and potentially waste some of the time training, waiting for the coach. However, a way around this is if a coach has organised their team, they will be able to help set up and tidy away the session, and it will lower the time taken to set up, allowing for more time for actual training. Also, during training, a coach might have a group of players with a wide range of skills and ability levels. The coach might deal with this and mix everyone up together, or set out 3 groups to put players into. Let's say in basketball, a coach might set up 3 ability groups so the players can develop with others the same as them. However, the coach needs to be careful when making teams for training games and having mixed ability teams for allowed equality when playing. A coach also needs to give a team selection for fixtures and have suitable backups for if players cannot make it for one reason or another. They also need, if necessary, to organise transport to away fixtures, unless participants decide to make their own way to the fixture. However, if a fixture is at home, the coach needs to organise the venue for the match and the officials to referee the game. They should have done and booked this a couple days before the game, at least, as it's very difficult to find last-minute replacements and people to fill in. This is also why the coach needs to be organised and have organised alternatives for if something goes wrong and have suitable replacements. Skill 3, demonstration. Demonstrations are important tools which are used by coaches to develop and support all types of athletes, ranging from beginner to elite. One of the first factors a coach should have to make is if it's more beneficial to have a live demonstration, use still images or videos to support the athlete's development. For example, when working with a group of young athletes or beginners, the skill should be demonstrated by the coach to show what they want to be achieved during the session. This is because at their current stage of ability, their knowledge of the sport and skill are limited, so any bad habits they pick up or have, the coach will be able to improve upon. However, while coaching elite level performers, they may choose to use still images or videos as demonstrations, as because they are performing to such a high standard of their sport, a coach's own demonstration may show an inaccurate model of what they want. Adding to this, videos can be slowed down, paused and replayed as much needed/wanted to allow for the coach to point out any flaws in technique. It also allows for the athletes to look back on themselves and actively look at what they've done wrong and work on correcting it. When working on a set skill, the coach should decide on the correct type of demonstration to use. This is because it's no use showing a beginner a video of themselves performing a skill and asking what they're doing wrong in the action, as their sporting knowledge isn't vast enough to see what's wrong or correct it, whereas an elite level performer won't benefit from a live demonstration from the coach as much as they already know the correct techniques to be using and are just needing to refine the minute amount of mistakes of their skill, not learn the whole thing. They also need to consider how much information they're giving to the athletes to learn, and should only really be teaching 1 or 2 points at a time, as any more might get too confusing. They should also invite questions from their athletes and redo the demonstration multiple times in case anyone missed anything. Finally, they should try and observe the participants and how they're getting on with the skill, and give one-to-one coaching to those found struggling.